look, for me, look, hopefully by the summertime, my goal is by the summertime we get more businesses that are coming back to life. We see more, well, not more. We see less shutdowns, less strict preventive measures with shutdowns and restrictions, right? Because like at the end of the day, the people that were, in my opinion, that were hurt the most, I mean, besides the death, right, and the families that have lost loved ones, besides that, it's really the small business, right? It's really the small businesses that I've hurt the most. Okay, so when you think about New York City, and you think about what attracts people to New York City, right? It's not just the nightlife, but it's all the little different mom and pop shops, the different businesses. It's all of that. And when you take that away from the city, and the city does absolutely nothing in terms of the government to help these businesses back on their feet, I mean, like, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing? Look, I get the idea that COVID, right? The coronavirus we had to be precautious, right? Initially, it was all about flattening the curve. Okay, and we flattened the curve to some degree, right? Flatten the curve basically meant the hospitalization rates, don't let it skyrocket, right? Let the hospitalization rate kind of plateau, right? Like, don't get everyone in the hospital at once. Let's just try to slow the spread. Eventually, the spread will happen, but we want to slow the spread. Okay, and no one, after some time, no one cared about flattening the curve, right? Now everyone just cared about more restrictions, more lockdowns. We can't have one death is too many. You hear the whole. I remember I was hearing the whole time. One death is too many. Like, really? Since when did government make policies and decisions based on if one person is going to die, or if there's going to be one death, then we need to completely change the whole system? That has never happened. That has absolutely never fucking happened. All right, so let's be very honest, folks. All right, the way that New York City has handled, the way that New York City and the state has handled the coronavirus. I mean, look, it hasn't been the best. Okay, it hasn't been the best because what we're seeing now is the aftermath, right? We're slowly seeing the aftermath. Like, this is not on the news as well, but a lot of businesses, they're gone. They're just gone. Okay, they're gone because revenues have dropped from 30 to 50%. You can't sustain that kind of business module in the city with still paying rent, still paying utilities, still paying all your vendors, whatever it is. It doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. Guys, let me tell you the truth about small business. Or let me tell you, particularly in the bars and restaurants industry. I don't know how many of you guys are from the city that are listening, but I wanna kind of give you a little bit of insight. Sorry, guys, drinking my coffee. So listen, the bars and restaurant industry, right, in New York City, you have to understand the damage that they took. Yeah, you have to understand the economic impact that shutdowns, that restrictions, lockdowns had on businesses. You have to have some sort of understanding. It's not like when this is all over, everyone's vaccinated, everyone goes out, oh, life is back to normal. Well, maybe for you, but for a lot of businesses and a lot of people that work around these businesses, they're set back years and years, and some of them will never get back on their feet. And that's just the truth, right? That's just how it is. Now, look, the cost of doing business. Look, if you're thinking about restaurants and you're thinking about bars in the city, and you see that revenues have dropped anywhere from 30 to 50%. Okay, I mean, look, at one point, there was no dining at all. There was no outdoor dining. There was no indoor dining. It was just takeout. How is a bar going to survive doing takeout? All right, how is a business module that mainly depends on selling alcohol in premise, how are they going to do takeout? They can't. So if you think about it, bars and restaurants, for the most part, the service, the hospitality industry, they operate on very, very thin razor margins, right? Like the owner takes home maybe, depending on the business, anywhere from maybe 3, 5, 7%, right, of the total business, if they are a profitable business. If all of a sudden, since last year, March and April, you have income, business revenue that's dropped from 30 to 50%, and you've had that for almost about a year now, how do you think these businesses are surviving? Guys, they're not surviving. Okay, they have PPP loans that the government gave out, right? So let's say a business got $50,000. How long is $50,000 going to last a business? Not very long, okay? Not very long. Maybe a month, maybe a month and a half, depending on the size of the business. Okay, then besides all the insane revenue drop you've had, just pretty much, across the board. Now you have the city giving out all these ridiculously confusing, constantly updating, changing regulations for the businesses. Okay, you want to do outdoor dining? Great. Then you have to have, X amount of inches high of the barricades. Now you got to fill it with sand. You got to do this. You got to do that. Oh, guess what? We're gonna add something else. Oh, you have to change your whole outdoor dining structure. Too bad. Like, guys, you understand what I'm saying? Like, the way that these businesses have to operate under these ridiculous conditions and try to forget about making money, try to just keep the lights on. It's pretty much impossible. Okay, it's pretty much impossible. Most of the businesses that have been sort of keeping the lights on and just keep pushing and made it through, they've done it through the business owners pretty much shelling out their own money. There's no other way. Okay, there is no other way. A traditional bar or restaurant in the city cannot operate and be profitable under the conditions that de Blasio and Cuomo had set up. Cannot be profitable. All right. You've had not only do you have, let's say, we had the whole indoor dining ban. Now you can only do business up till 11 o'clock. Okay, so they gave 11 o'clock curfew for outdoor dining. Well, that's a problem. What if you're a bar? What if you're a business that's late night? You're a late night kind of scene, right? Business picks up starting around 10, 11 o'clock. Guess what? Too bad. Tell your customers to come earlier. I mean, you guys see what I'm getting with this, right? Like, the whole premise of New York City, small business, the way that they try to regulate, the way that they try to, quote unquote, help these businesses by giving them outdoor dining, giving them, whatever sets of rules, I'm not sure if it helped out that much. Okay, me being particularly within the industry, I can tell you the amount of work, the amount of stress, the amount of money that goes just maintaining a non-profitable business is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so now why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing this up? Look, at the end of the day, I do want to see, like I said, businesses, New York City, within New York City, restaurants, bars, I want to see them get back on their feet, right? I want to see them get back on their feet. And I think the way to do it, right? And I think the simple way to do it is stop with the restrictions. Stop with the lockdowns. Stop with the 4 p.m. I'm sorry, not the 4 p.m. What is it? The 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock curfew that you give bars and restaurants. Let them conduct business as they did in the past.